There is a house in Bologna, Italy, that has been standing since 1347. Not a castle, not a cathedral, a house. The family that owns it today is the fourth family to own it. The walls are 2 feet thick. They are made of fired brick and lime mortar, laid by a mason who has been dead for 6 centuries. The house has outlasted the Black Death, 2 world wars, and 12 Italian governments. It will almost certainly outlast everyone alive today. Now, picture the house being built 3 streets over from you right now. Wood frame, oriented strand board sheathing, vinyl siding snapped into place in a single afternoon, drywall screwed to the studs inside. A house that a contractor's crew can assemble from the ground up in 7 days. It will last, if the moisture stays out, between 50 and 80 years. If the moisture gets in, and behind vinyl siding it almost always does, the ROT happens invisibly. Inside walls that look perfectly fine from the street. 2 houses. Same purpose. 700 years apart. That gap is not an accident of geography or climate or wealth. Someone built it that way, and the decision was more specific than you'd expect. Walk through the old city of any European town built before 1900. The walls are stone or brick. Thick. The kind of wall you feel when you press your hand against it. Solid, cool, permanent. Buildings that were designed with the assumption that they would still be standing in 300 years and built accordingly. The craftsmen who built them knew their work would outlast them. That knowledge is in every joint, every course of brick, every stone set. Now, drive through any American suburb built after 1970. The houses look solid from the street. Some of them are even faced with brick, a thin, decorative layer about 1 inch thick, tied to the outside of a wood frame. If you removed it, the house would still stand. The brick is doing nothing structural. It is a costume. The crew that built it moved on to the next one before the paint was dry. Behind that costume, 2x4 studs, 16 inches apart, plywood sheathing, vinyl cladding on the outside, drywall on the inside. The average new American home contains over 6,000 square feet of drywall. It contains almost no masonry, and the person who made that inevitable had a name. Think about the last time you were inside a house that felt genuinely solid. Not a hotel, not an office building. A house where the walls had weight, where closing a door felt like closing something real, where the temperature stayed stable without the HVAC running constantly. A building that felt indifferent to whether you were in it or not. That had been there long before you and would be there long after. For most Americans, that answer involves an old house or a trip abroad. Because the new American house was not designed to feel solid. It was designed to be built fast. And the man who made that decision was not a developer or a politician. He was a builder from Connecticut standing on the muddy banks of the Chicago River in 1832, looking at a problem nobody had solved. Here's what happened. His name was George Washington Snow. Chicago in 1832 was not yet a city. It was a village of 250 people on a treeless plain beside a lake. Snow had come west to build, and he faced a problem every builder in America faced. Skilled labor was scarce. Master carpenters who knew how to cut and fit heavy timber frames took months to assemble a building. The country was growing faster than the craftsmen could keep up. Snow's solution was to eliminate the craftsmen. Instead of heavy timbers fitted with mortise and tenon joints, work requiring years of training, he built with lightweight standardized lumber. 2x4s, machine cut, nailed together to form a skeleton. No complex joinery, no specialist skills. A crew of ordinary laborers could assemble the frame of a house in days rather than months. He called it nothing. Other builders called it balloon framing, mockingly at first, because skilled carpenters looked at those thin nailed members and said the building would blow away in the next wind. It didn't blow away. By the 1880s, some form of 2x4 framing was standard across America. And here is what that decision cost, though nobody framed it as a cost at the time. A timber-framed house built with heavy joinery has a structural lifespan measured in centuries. The oldest timber-framed buildings in England are approaching 700 years old. The wood-frame American house Snow pioneered has a structural lifespan measured in decades. Speed had a price. The price was permanence. But Snow's frame was still just a skeleton. It needed walls, and what happened next made it permanent. In 1894, a man named Augustine Sackett patented something he called Sackett Board. Sackett was not trying to change American construction. He was trying to solve a specific problem, finishing interior walls faster and cheaper than plaster allowed. Picture what he was trying to replace. A plaster wall, not drywall. Actual plaster. Knock on it, and it sounds like knocking on stone. It has mass. It holds temperature. Applied in layers by a tradesman who took 3 days to finish a single room, and whose work, if done well, would last a century without cracking. His solution was simple. Sandwich gypsum plaster between 2 sheets of paper, press it into rigid panels, let it dry in a factory, and ship it to the site. A plasterer applying wet plaster to lath needed days of drying time and years of training. A laborer hanging Sackett board needed neither. Nobody was interested at first. Plaster was the standard. Homeowners associated a plaster wall with quality. It had weight, it had solidity, history going back to ancient Rome. Sackett board looked thin. It felt cheap. It was dismissed. Then the war came. In the 1940s, wartime rationing limited lumber availability. The United States Gypsum Company, which had bought Sackett's patent and rebranded it as sheetrock, marketed it to military contractors building housing fast. Barracks, workers' homes, temporary structures. Sheetrock was fast. Sheetrock was cheap. Sheetrock didn't require skilled labor. When the war ended, Levitt and every builder who followed him took sheetrock into the mass housing boom. By the 1950s, it was the standard. By the 1960s, the plasterers were gone. By the 1970s, the question wasn't even being asked anymore. Today, 97% of all newly constructed buildings in America use drywall. The house that Snow framed in 1832 and Sackett walled in 1894 is still the house being built today. Here is what that quietly costs. Think about the wildfire that moves through a California neighborhood and leaves only the chimneys standing. The wood frame houses are ash in 30 minutes. The brick chimney stands because masonry doesn't burn. Think about the hurricane that moves through Florida and disassembles a subdivision. Wood frame construction in a Category 4 storm is not a structure resisting the wind. It is nailed lumber that the wind is separating. Concrete block homes built to Florida's post-Andrew Code regularly survive intact. Think about the termites. $5 billion a year in damage to American homes. Termites cannot eat brick. They can eat every 2x4 in your walls while the drywall stays perfectly smooth and white and gives you no indication that anything is happening. And then look at the long game. The family that bought a wood frame home in 1975 paid off the mortgage in 1995. By 2015, the structure was tired. Windows, roof, siding all needing replacement. The house was 40 years old and already requiring reconstruction. Their counterparts in Germany bought a brick house in 1975. Their grandchildren will inherit it. None of that happened because Americans chose poorly. If these questions keep getting stuck in your head, subscribe. There are 8 more of these already waiting for you. And tell me in the comments, does the house you live in feel permanent? Or does it feel like it's already waiting to be replaced? None of this means European masonry is without problems. Thick brick walls are expensive, slow to build, and require skilled labor that simply does not exist in most of America. Retrofitting plumbing and electrical through masonry is brutal. And a poorly maintained brick building deteriorates just as surely as a wood frame house. It just takes longer. The post-war American building boom was a genuine achievement. It housed millions of families who had never owned a home, quickly, at a price ordinary people could afford. These are not small things. But there is a difference between a house designed to outlast its mortgage and a house designed to outlast its builder. Most Americans don't know which one they live in, and the system has no incentive to tell them. The next time you walk past a construction site and watch a house go up in less than a week, the crew nailing studs, the drywall going up on the inside, the vinyl snapping into place on the outside, that speed is not progress. It is a decision made in 1832 that nobody has revisited. The same frame, the same logic. The decision that made it this way is almost 2 centuries old. A house in Bologna, built in 1347, is still standing. The house going up 3 streets over from you is already on a clock. Tell me in the comments, does your house feel like it was built to last or built to be sold? I want to know if Americans can still feel the difference. I read every single comment, and if these questions keep getting stuck in your head, subscribe. Because next time, we're looking at why China built cities where people gather and why America built suburbs where they don't. And the person who made that call had a name.